Okay, I'm going to make a shorter video today, and it's going to be on the angelic conflict. And basically, this is speculation on what happened that led up to what's happening on Earth right now. And next week, I'm going to talk the spiritual warfare and explain what's happening now. And that's from the Bible. And this is more or less kind of speculation on a couple of Bible verses. And other ideas of what happened before are the idea that the angels were created on day four, and um, and then Satan fell, and then he got the humans after he fell, and they don't really go into detail. And then there's the ransom theory, which I don't like, but it says that Satan fell and he tricked the humans, and then he got possession of all the humans. And then Jesus and God talked to Satan, and they said, "Well, if Jesus goes to the cross, how many people will you give us back?" And Satan says, 15 billion or something. So it's all speculation. And this is based on a Bible verse that says Jesus died as a ransom for many. And many is a relative term. Doesn't mean that it was a certain number, but that's what they think, and they're kind of reformists that believe in election. And the other is angelic conflict, and the idea I found it came from the early church. It was called the kingdom conflict, and I'll just kind of explain it to you. And it's understand it's just speculation. The angelic conflict is a theological concept of an ongoing spiritual war between God and Satan's forces, which began with Satan's rebellion in prehistoric times and continues to involve humanity on earth. Humanity's role is to be part of the resolution to this conflict through their free will, making choices for or against God's kingdom. The conflict is described as the ultimate spiritual war that explains much of the world's suffering and chaos. We know in the end God will win, along the way Satan will have some minor victories. Key aspects of the angelic conflict. Satan's rebellion. The conflict originated when Satan, a powerful angel, led a rebellion against God, persuading one-third of the angels beings to join him, and this was a long time before the creation of the universe and Adam and Eve. And Ezekiel 28:15, you were perfect in your ways from the day that you were created till iniquity was found in you. And this is referring to Satan. This describes the fall. And so Job 38 verse 7, while the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. And this was at the creation. So this kind of does away with the day four idea that the angels were there watching God create everything. Satan as the accuser or diabolus refers to his biblical role as a prosecutor who brings charges against humanity, especially believers, before God, aiming to undermine faith through lies, shame, and condemnation. As seen in the book of Job and Revelation 12 verse 10, while he points out sins, Christians find victory through Jesus Christ, who acts as their advocate, justifying them with his righteousness and interceding for them, thereby silencing the accuser's condemnation. So what they believe happened is that Satan fell and he was sentenced to the lake of fire. God created the lake of fire, and then appeals process, and we'll talk about that. The trial and appeal, according to this doctrine, God justly condemns Satan and his followers to the lake of fire. However, Satan appealed the judgment, and humanity was created to serve as focal point in an appeal trial to resolve this conflict. Some people don't like that, but we don't know what's all going on. We just are here to glorify God and be part of the battle that's going on. And so we're part of the appeals trial, is what this idea thinks. And we know that Ephesians 6 verse 12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against powers of this dark world, against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. So that's talking about the bad guys, the dark forces. Humanity's role: believers are considered spiritual beings having a human existence, tasked with making choices that align with God's will, and he demonstrates his justice and love. And that's what Satan appealed, that God didn't have justice, didn't give him justice, and didn't give him love, and so God's going to show him that he is justice and love in his appeal trial. And that's what we're here for, and we're spiritual beings in that we are souls, and we are assigned a body. So some people think that we're a body, but actually we are a soul with a body, and that goes on to eternity. Spiritual warfare: the conflict manifests on earth through spiritual warfare, where Satan and his demons attempt to derail God's plan through lies and chaos. And so they tried to stop Jesus from going to the cross, or try to screw up that plan, and once that happened, then they were in trouble. Now they're trying to screw up God's future plan for Israel, make God out to be a liar. Earth as a battleground. Earth is a battleground where Satan seeks to prove God's judgment unfair, while God uses human choices to glorify himself. And that's what we're to do, glorify God. God provides defense. God provides spiritual armor or believers to withstand the attacks of the evil one, allowing them to stand firm in faith in God's power. The ultimate resolution: the conflict will culminate in the second coming of Christ, securing the ultimate victory and vindicating righteousness.